Guys, what's going on? So today, as you can see, the selenite's been set on Cancer, so that's the sign we're focusing on. This reading will be for all Cancer sun, moon, ascendants, but mostly ascendant signs. And the intention behind this actual reading was set for all the sign of Cancer in the age of, technically in the quote-unquote age of Aquarius after 2012 and all the way up through, and basically up through the degree of the first degree that it just went through, which will be all the way through 2084. So, without further ado, this is a generational reading. You may resonate, even if you're not born during this time. You may resonate with it. However, you might not. So it's really it's up to you. So, just let me know what you feel about it. Let me know what you think about it, and pretty much after that, we're just gonna be getting straight into it. So without further ado, let's do. All right, so let's set this up, right? So this is a reading called the Pyramid's Path. It's basically sort of as I mentioned, a generational reading. So it's sort of I don't want to say it exactly shows the life path, but it shows the experiences that led you up to these certain takeaways about life. And then it kind of leads you to how you design your stack of skills and your skill sets in this world in this lifetime. And then it leads you up to these two pillars that support the conclusion, which is basically the direction and the purpose of your life at the end of the day. So once again, this is for Cancers, and then as we move through it, I'll explain a little bit more about how this reading works. It's a 16-card reading. As you can see, they're all intertwined and sort of linked together in some type of way. So we'll get into it. Don't worry about that. Excuse me, selenite. Sometimes I like to shuffle a little more when picking the higher cards because they're pretty important. See what sticks out to me for the reading. Okay. So before we get into it, a little bit about this reading. We have 5 cards here, which basically deal with the vibrations of your life. So I sort of like them. I sort of look at them like these are the overarching feelings or maybe influences on certain chapters in your life. So you can look at the right side as your past, the left side as your future, and these 3 cards in the middle being somewhere you're actually at right now. Based off doing a couple of these readings, a lot of people have sort of been finding themselves closer to the future side, so more on this side, but it's up to you. We shouldn't really muddy the waters with that, but whatever. And with these 4 cards up above here, being the overarching feelings and chapters behind your life, these are basically the thoughts on the combination of these 2 vibrations right here. So if these 2 are linked, it'll lead you to this takeaway and this sort of basically thought that you carry with yourself, and then so on and so forth. And then the same thing sort of goes for these cards right here, which is basically your skill set, your stack of skills in some sense. So these 2 takeaways will lead you to this skill set, these 2 takeaways will lead you to this one, and these 2 takeaways will lead you to this one. So these cards may be your skill sets, but this center card, this sort of keystone card, is a little different because it's basically the vibration at the center of all of these experiences right here. But these 2 thoughts will lead you to figuring that out, if that makes any sense. And then these 2 pillars up here, this is the day pillar and this is the night pillar. So this is like your unknown thing that supports your purpose, and this is your known thing that supports your purpose. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so let's see your past. Alright, Cancers. So Cancers, you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face the truth. Your true north. See this card right here? This is your past. This is where you came into. So, for Cancers, you guys are cardinal water, right? So you guys know all about this layer of the deck right here. This layer of the pyramid. So this is you guys create vibes. You're cardinal water, initiating, creating new ways of how to feel and add emotion to things, right? So when you're creating the vibes at a young age, a lot of people are just, getting born into this realm, first incarnating. They don't want their vibes to be like told to. They don't want people creating their vibes. And these people being all caring and sort of being super sensitive, it may get annoying for certain people. So some people that really don't get the sort of sweetness and this basically where you're coming from, they may not like you at first. But this is your past, so we're moving on from this. Let's see the next card. So the next card you got is the Seven Star Sisters, birthing creations, tapestries of life, expression. So the Seven Star Sisters right here, this is basically your like seventh dimensional sort of energy. That's where this is where I derive the meaning out of. So this is like where you're sort of dancing amongst the sky. You're really, creating these thoughts, concepts, and experiences. And this is just like, in a nutshell, it says it right there, birthing creations, right? So this is you creating vibes, being creative, right? So this is you sort of just figuring out, sort of realizing your Cancer energy, whether you may know it or not. You just sort of recognize you have the skill and you're just kind of working on it. And this is that area of life where you're just dibbling, dabbling into being like, if I feel like this and I put these emotional vibrations out into the world, maybe at home, maybe at school, maybe somewhere, because this is dealing with past energies, you're just kind of testing out, what sort of vibes you can really just meander into the world. Alright, the next card, right? So after realizing that sort of, you guys just came into the world not really giving a fuck about relationships, being like, okay, you either like me or you don't, right? And if you don't, I'm putting up my shell, whatever, deal with it. And then this is you just being creative, doing your thing. And then this is your life as a canvas, right? So this is sort of the manifestation of these two circumstances, where it says artist, manifestation, creativity, accountability. Your life is a canvas, right? And this is sort of the feeling that you come to after you realize that you're a creative person, you're recognizing your skills, and you stopped really giving a fuck about how other people feel about it, and you're just doing you regardless, right? So this is that period in life. Now the next thing here is you're not alone, the isolation card, physical connection, community. So this is something that you probably experienced a lot when you're sort of just being your creative self. You've just gone through all these experiences like, I don't care about people, this is what it is, da-da-da-da-da. This is that, like, you're finding your people card right here. This is that you're going to college, you're finding your little group, you're mixing and mangling, and you're just meshing, and you're just finding your people and really doing your thing, right? Because before, you were just following your own creative direction. But now it's like, you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. You moved on from that, you found your little space. Okay, so let's see the future. So the future is karmic relationships, right? Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. So karmic relationships is sort of like a sextile where it's like neutral energy, it's just merely two energies coming together like a clap, creating a third, which would be the clap sound in itself, right? So karmic relationships is just being like, okay, this is what I put out in the past, this is what I put out in the present, this is what I'll probably put out in the future regarding this situation. So this could be you having to rectify some things, you having to figure some things out, because when you go through life going in your own creative direction and you sort of just realize you're not everybody from the jump, and you don't exactly know what you're doing yet, you can get a little aggressive, get a little, sort of go a little left field with the situations. You know what I'm saying? So this is why for certain cancers, this could be bad, but for other cancers, you could have helped people, and this could be good, and you could be getting good energy coming back to you. It's pretty neutral, pretty nondescript in a sense, but if you feel what I'm saying, you feel what I'm saying. I'm not going to stop anybody from resonating. Alright, so let's see the combination here. Okay, ooh, interesting. So you got the Earth School card here. Life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. So realizing you're not alone, realizing why you sort of gotten into these circumstances, the takeaway is you're learning. You're basically just sort of figuring it out. This is once again, this layer of cards, these four cards, the fourth dimensional cards, the ideas, the thought realm, basically being the takeaway from these vibrations, these main feelings over certain like chapters of your life. This is the takeaway for you right here. So Earth School is you sort of learning how to handle all of these things, but keep in mind that we live on Earth. People on Earth don't always get what you're doing. So you gotta just work with it, study, learn, and sort of extract all of these higher vibrations that you're creating and bring them into a sense so other people can understand. Let's see what's going on over here. Okay. Oh, okay, weight of the world. Yeah, I can see that. So, when you're young and you're like sort of recognizes that you can just create and set the vibes of the room, and also being used to people not liking you from the jump or people causing problems from the jump, that can be pretty heavy, because when you're a youngster, you'll feel like the weight of the world is on you, because you're just like walking around being like, I can just put out these emotions and control the direction of what's going on. That's kind of a lot of pressure. So that's sort of your takeaway in early life, just being like, damn, what do I do? What happens when I attack myself? What happens when I praise myself? What type of vibes are creating when I go about it this way? What type of vibes am I creating when I think this way? When my mentality is going in this direction, when I'm going in that direction, and my ego's pulling me this way? You know, that's you're gonna get situations like this. Weight of the world. Look, just being soaked in your vibrations, you know? And this is kind of tough for Cancer, because Cancers like to sit on the beach, dibble and dabble in the waves whenever they want, right? They're the crab. They don't swim down deep like Scorpio. They don't just swim over wherever like Pisces, ending up in Fiji or frickin' Yakutsk. Who knows? Cancers don't do that. Cancers just, you know, they set the vibe themselves. But let's see what this card says. Okay, so this card right here, perspective. This is an interesting one. So you pulled the perspective card. You know, none of this matters. Zoom out, common ground, figure out your place in the universe, right? So after you can see you're not for everyone, you're kind of figuring out your creativity, and then you're moving into, you know, your life as a canvas, right? So creativity and actually letting go and be able to create in your own pure, calm space, right? This gives you perspective from where you were, recognizing that the weight of the world that you're perceiving, see this right here, see these two cards? It's not as big as you think, because see how when you're in this space in life, maybe your early years, you're basically soaking in just this little speck right here. This is you moving into like I don't want to say high school because I can't exactly tell you what time frame this will happen for you, but this is that recognizing that Earth is small. This is not an existential crisis card, although it can be in some situations. This is realizing just where you're at in a nutshell. This is the little speck that you thought you were soaking in before. And so you're sort of letting things go, putting these two situations together. So let's see what this other card holds.
Alright, hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for following this video up until this point. Hopefully it resonates with you, and hopefully you really got something out of it, and maybe even some deep insight on how your life has been going, the emotional paths, and you actually have a means to categorize it in a way that truly resonates with you. So, thanks for following this. If you guys actually want more and you want to see this full reading, you can click on our Patreon link below, but for now, just take a spin with me and let's see this bigger reading for the entire ecliptic that we have going on ourselves. So once again, Patreon link is in the description if you actually want to see the full reading, and you can see the full end of the path, all the takeaways, and everything that you actually enjoyed up into it so far and what it actually concludes to.